Or let's go on to number 12. You must always master the system and figure a way to make it work for you. Now, this is really important. There are always rules and parameters to how any system works. I don't care if it's a relationship with somebody you're dating. There are rules and guidelines to it. I mean, how much time does she need in advance before she goes out on a date? How early does he need an answer about whether you're going or not? Do you drink? Do you not drink on a date? Do you go out with other people? Do you go out alone? There are always rules to a relationship. In a work situation, there are rules and parameters. It doesn't matter what the situation, anytime there's a sociogram, and that just simply means there are a group of people, small or large, that come together and work as a unit, there are always rules of engagement and parameters, right? Like at work, there's a time to show up and a time to go on break, a time to go to lunch, a time to leave, reporting relationships or whatever. In a family, there's a hierarchy. There's a matriarch and a patriarch. There's a pecking order. Their kids have different personalities. Every situation has rules and parameters. Some are spoken, some are unspoken. And then below what's apparent, there are the hydraulics of how things really work. Those are often different than what the rules say. The rules may say you do things A, B, C, and D, but then the way it really works informally can be very different. And what I'm telling you is I have studied so many winners, so many champions, so many people that consistently come out on top, and they study and know the system they're in. Figure out the system you're in. Whatever it is, what really makes it work? What really are the guidelines associated with it? That's what you need to know. Now, I talked a little bit about this example once before, but it's one of the best I've ever thought of, and I'm going to give you two here, actually. One is, in my PhD program, you fill out what's called a degree plan. Now, a degree plan is a contract between the student and the graduate school that lists what all the requirements are to get your degree. It might be 90 hours of coursework and maybe 12 hours of practicum, then 12 hours for dissertation, and 6 hours for master's thesis. So it all adds up to where it's like 120 hours. That's a contract. You get with your advisor and you make that out and you sign it, and they sign it, and you file it with the dean's office. And now you've got a contract. If I do this, then you give me that. Now, when I got to graduate school, I was friends with some of my undergraduate professors, and they had told me how programs evolve across time. So the week I got there, I filled out my degree plan. And out of all the incoming students, I was the only one that filled out and filed a degree plan. Only one. At the end of a year, still, no one had filled out a degree plan. The end of 2 years, no one had filled out a degree plan. End of 3 years, no one else had filled out a degree plan. 4 years, no one else had filled out a degree plan. Why? Because that's what you do when you're getting ready to graduate. You fill out a degree plan, be sure you got everything, and then you do it. Well, I got ready to go on internship, and I met with the clinical director, and they said, oh, no. That's what was required back when you started. But since then, they've added 4 more semesters of this and 2 more semesters of that, and your internship has to be approved by this and that, so it's going to be another year. Wanting to give them a face-saving way out, I said, well, I can understand how you would conclude that. However, I filled this degree plan out 4 years ago. I signed it, and the department head signed it, and the dean's office ratified it. This is a contract. and I've completed it all. I'm done, and I'm out of here. I got a 4.0, and I've completed every requirement. And she said, oh, well, no, 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 no. And I said, yes, 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 yes. I said, but I'll tell you what, let me leave this with you, and you can chat with the department head and the dean, and I'll get back with you because I'm sure there are some things y'all need to go through. I didn't want to put her on the spot and have her go, oh, okay, you're right. Wanted to leave her face-saving way out. Never met with her again. All I got was a memo said, you're done. Now, I understood how it worked. I understood the rules and the guidelines, but I also understood the unspoken rules and guidelines. These things evolve. That old saying, the longer you chew it, the bigger it gets. They just keep adding stuff. They keep moving the goal line. You know, you think I'm on the 20 and the goal line is 20 yards away. So you run 20 yards and you go, where's the goal line? Oh, well, they moved it 10 yards. Well, I thought I was only 20 yards out. No, it's now 10 yards further. And you go 10 more yards, they go, well, they moved it 5 yards. So, oh, no, and I got to go 5 more yards. And so you go 5 more, oh, they moved it 2 more yards. So now you thought you're 20 yards out, and it turns out you were 37 yards out. So by knowing the system, I saved myself a year. Know the system you're in. Winners, you remember what I said, out prepare the other side. And were they the other side? Damn right they were the other side. It was a very adversarial system where there was an attempt to wash out as many as they could. It was a very adversarial system, and I studied the system. I had some very supportive professors that had become my friends, and they sat me down and said, now, let me tell you something. You want to get down there and file that degree plan? I said, I don't need it for 4 years. You want to file it the day you get there. Because trust me, 4 years from now, it's going to be a lot different than it is today. And they were exactly right. I had supporters and friends that told me how the deal really works, and I was so glad I did. Know the system. It can save you time and money and make you a winner. I was out an average of 3 years earlier than all of my fellow students. 3 years earlier. Now, I'll give you another example. I've been a pilot since I was a teenager, and I had a great flight instructor. One thing you learn is when you're a student pilot, the system is afraid of you because they know you're greener than a parrot's ass. I mean, they know there's no telling what this person's going to do. They're a student pilot, which means they've got like almost no time. So you pull into an area that's really congested. I mean, you pull into Dallas-Fort Worth or Houston Hobby or LaGuardia or somewhere. I mean, they're calling out traffic and instructions and everything so fast, your head's just swimming. Oh my God, it can just overwhelm you. You just pick up that mic and say, I'm a student pilot. Can I get a little help here? And all of a sudden, everything slows down and somebody says, absolutely. Turn heading 180 and just stay with me and we will get you to the end of the runway and get you landed. Now, that's a panic button. The entire time I've been a pilot, I've been a student pilot because I was either getting my original license, my instrument license, my commercial license, something. I've always been a student at some level. So I could always legitimately key that mic and say, I'm a student pilot. And knowing the system and knowing how it worked, the whole world changed just by knowing that one thing. I'm a student pilot. Know the system. Know the pressure points and the hot buttons can make all the difference in the world.